Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga. A mix of sun and clouds right now. Here at the spa, the main track is fast. The turf courses are firm. The portable rails are up at 18 feet on both the melon turf and the inner turf. No carryover in the pick six. And here now, today's changes. In the first race, scratch number 4, Towering Gaze. Scratch number 4, Towering Gaze. And note that number 2 will be 1 pound over. Second race, we have these scratches. Scratch 1, Rosemary Potatoes. 3, Mama Rena. 6, Miss Invincible. Also scratch 10, Maybe Later. And 11, Clarabelle. Scratch 1, 3, 6, 10, and 11. Third race, no changes. And no changes in the fourth. Moving on to race 5 as of now. In the fifth race, scratch the 1A Santa Julia. Scratch 1A Santa Julia out of race 5, which begins the pick 6. In today's sixth race, there's an equipment change for number 6, Influentialist. She'll run with blinkers on. Blinkers on, number 6, Influentialist in the 6th. Seventh race, scratch number 3, Little Commissioner. Scratch the 3, Little Commissioner. Today's 8th race is the Grade 2 National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame Stakes. Scratch number 2, Dowagiac Chief. Scratch the 2 out of race 8. The 9th race is the Grade 3 Troy Stakes. Note that number 2, Yes and Yes, will wear a hood, and number 7, Thin White Duke, will wear a hood again. And there are no changes in today's 10th race. Main track fast, turf courses firm. We'll be back at 12:30 to recap the changes. First race post today is at 1:05. Up next, the Friday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
morning, everyone, and welcome to day number 17, Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile, Andy Sterling, Talking Horses, presented by our good friends at Saratoga Springwater.
It is.
Got a little Saratoga Springwater here. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready for the big weekend?
I am.
Whitney
Can't wait.
weekend?
Love
Yeah.
Whitney. Yeah, of course. But the most historic and prestigious older horse race in all the land. Can't wait. Good renewal. 4 Grade 1 winners. Olympiads on a 5-race win streak. Zoomer would be the upset of all upsets. It's a fun race tomorrow.
You know, Olympiad could have been a Grade 1 winner if he had gotten a better trip in the Cigar Mile.
He could have.
Because he actually ran a lot better in that
His
race
last defeat.
than it looks, yeah. And
Last time around 1
argument he could have won it. Yeah, looking forward to that and all that. But we also got 10 to talk about today. So we'll get to work and we'll send you over to Naira Bets. If you're not a Naira Bets member, go to nairabets.com, use the promo code TOGA200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. We have 10 times points at Del Mar and Emerald Downs on the West Coast. We also have the Saturday contest. You have till 5 o'clock today to sign up. $300 buy-in, cash and seat prizes. Go to naira.com/contest. And while you're there, you can check out the 4-Star Dave Challenge as well, which I believe you have till next Friday to sign up for. And that is on track or online through Naira Bets. All cash prizes, 4-Star Dave Challenge, the big contest of the Saratoga season. We have the Triple Play. Should we look what races it's in? Do we know what races it's in?
No. Hold on. Who's gonna
Well,
get it
it's
first?
some races today. It's somewhere in your program. Okay. Got anything going on here, Ant?
The Triple Players race is
Ooh,
5, 8, and 9.
9.
589.
5, 8, and 9. All right. America's Day at the Races, or Saratoga Live. I can't keep it straight. 1 to 6:30 on FS2.
What are we calling it tomorrow with the handbook coverage?
Saratoga Live. Hall of Fame today, Tepin and Beholder.
Yes.
They were the only ones voted in. Is that correct?
I believe that's accurate, yes.
I voted for Kona Gold. I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I
voted
voted for Christophe
I
Clement.
voted for Christophe Clement.
I voted for him too. I agree. I thought he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame as well. But he's not. Anyhow, get to the action today. The first race, Well Spent. Because Well Spent is the speed, though you have to imagine that maybe Irad and New York Banker will put some pressure with the hot riding Javier Castellano. You have him third, I have him fourth. Big win, obviously, last time. We're going to show a stat with Horse's Claim from Robertino Diodoro. Not a particularly great look. I mean, there's a part of me that says, Anthony, she's the horse to beat, and there's a part of me that just doesn't want any part of her. You know?
I am more in the camp of the latter.
Right.
She's going to a barn that is 1 for 36 on the year, from a barn that, and I don't know the stat, shockingly.
Barn that is a very hard barn to claim from.
Yes.
14% with over 660 starts. It's a lot of horses claimed over the last 5 years.
130 horses claimed a year on average.
$1.40 ROI.
It's insane.
You're losing, 30 cents to, or more, almost a quarter to 30 cents to take out. It's a tough stat to take, but you still can't argue that this horse is dangerous here.
No, I mean, dangerous, yes. She is the 9-5 morning line favorite. I don't know if I can say deservedly so.
Well, I mean, she's supposed to be favored in here.
I guess.
Potentially the speed. You know, this is the Caroline Street starter handicap.
I do now.
I should be presenting the trophy for that, being that I grew up on Caroline Street.
You did?
I did.
Yeah, you're the longest
Caroline Street.
resident
And I
know.
also spent an enormous amount of my life in the bars on Caroline Street as well. You and I picked the same horse. Why do you like the 6 Indian Bella?
I just felt like cutting back from a couple of 2-turn races at Parks and Monmouth, getting back to a 1-turn distance was going to help our cause. And quite frankly, if you don't want Well Spent, I thought Mia Be a Star and New York Banker were tough to make. And
Why is Mia Be a Star tough to make? What's wrong with her? She's been in great form. She
book-
shows up and runs every time. I don't think she's tough to make at all. I think
No?
if you don't like the one here, I think she's supremely logical. Look at her races. Every one of them is competitive. Mile and eighth, probably to me, I like the 6-2 for another reason. She's cutting back from a 2-turn race. I think less distance will only help her. Her race 4 back when she lost by a nose, one that Eddie, oh, you found them, Johnny. You'd hidden them somewhere. There you go. Thank you. Cost our friend Eddie Olczyk. Liked her that
saw
day.
Eddie yesterday. Yeah. Walking around yesterday.
43 to 1. He liked her that day. I think she makes a ton of sense. I actually thought about putting her on top in here. Indian Bella, I think one of the reasons to like her is she spent the majority of last race on a dead rail at Monmouth. So I want horses off of dead rail trips, and she switches from there, and she goes outside, and I think she makes sense. I don't disagree about the cutting back, though I don't know that really necessarily she hasn't run well going 2 turns, which she has, but I like that. And I mean, customer experience is very dangerous in here. Chris Englehart, off the claim at Saratoga, 2 for 13 the last 5 years, 7 at the board, but isn't she the most logical alternative, the favorite?
I would imagine she is. I put her second. I reluctantly put her second for the simple fact that she really has not been running well. I know she has some better
big
figs
figures
than this field. Yeah, but has she really been doing much running in these races? I don't know.
Well, she's doing enough. I mean, Easy to Bless, Good Night Olive.
No.
I
Listen,
mean,
she's running against
running
better.
against
I just don't know how
horses.
much running she's doing in these races.
Well, she's doing as much as she can, which isn't good enough to beat the better horses she's running against. I mean, I think she's
Hey, I
perfectly
got a
logical.
second.
Yeah, I think she's perfectly logical in here. But I'm going to try the dead rail horse, Indian Bella, race number 2. Some scratches in race number 2. And I guess the race sort of in some ways revolves around what you do with Command Point. Because she has the fastest races. Like my top choice in here, she's a bit pace dependent. And it's not clear how much pace there is. Rob Atras, I'm going to show a stat afterwards, not great stats off layoffs with turf routers. Or maybe it was trainer switch on a turf route, actually, I have, excuse me. And off layoffs, it just doesn't have much stats in that department. This is the race 3 back against Sweet Franny Lou. It's better than these horses, but I just don't trust her. But I picked her second.
No, I
Who'd you
think
pick
it's, I picked her second as well. I think she's a little tough to trust, right? I think that's the best way to put it.
She's a pace-dependent horse, and, these trainers have worked at Rob's barn. Rob's a trainer that you see him a lot. He's like a lot of guys. He runs hot and cold. And so far, his horses are not doing a lot out there. They're not running particularly well.
Probably should have got put up on Wednesday.
That horse should have been put up for sure. That
Probably
was
should have got put up that day.
Yep. That was a silly non-DQ.
And that horse ran a little bit.
Well, that horse ran the best race.
Yeah, that
He was
horse
trying
ran a
to
little
win
bit.
by the other horse fouling him in the stretch.
Yeah. So, but I don't disagree. The barn is underperforming right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, they're a barn you expect, and I think also, but even more than underperforming, they run hot and cold. When this barn is hot, you want to get out of their way like a speeding car down a street. When they're going cold, especially at shortish prices, you might want to look in a slightly different direction.
This horse was going to be a short price to begin with. I thought Mama Rena would take a little bit of money. Now with Mama Rena out of here, I mean, she's going to be close to even money in here, right? She's 9 to 5 on the morning line.
Well, Marina was 9 to 2.
Well, 9 to 2 second choice.
Right, but Fairy Cakes is 5
Yeah.
to 1.
I mean, she's probably going to be close to even money in here. I don't want her at even money.
Think she'll be even money in there?
Andy, she's 9 to 5 on a morning line, and
Right,
now
but
the
in 9 to
second
2,
choice
that's
is out.
correct. Well, that makes her about 8 to 5. But, I mean, I don't know.
I think she's even money. And I mean, her figs lay over the field.
I don't disagree. But
Figs lay over the
it's
field.
also slightly a function of the races that she's running
It
against.
is.
And that's the case of turf racing. You have got the 8 Laugh and Play on top.
Well, you mentioned the lack of speed in here. I would imagine coming
no,
out of
I
this-
didn't mention the lack of speed in here.
You said the pace scenario was.
Well, the pace scenario,
I would imagine she's going to go to the lead in here coming out of the sprint. No?
really? Well, that means that the Cantermachis, that Aquaria Thunder threw Javier Castellano at the start. The Cantermachis don't want to win this race. I don't know. I'm guessing that they want to send the fastest horse to the lead. It's very close between the two, but why is she supposed to be losing Aquaria Thunder?
I would imagine she's going to be fast. She's going to be faster than Quarry of Thunder out of there coming out of the sprint
Not that
race.
fast, this horse. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Pace Projector has her second, and they actually have Mazbet for what it's worth, and Ricardo could be a little aggressive with her. So there's some. The Pace Projector does not have her
Blinkers go
speed.
on. I'd be very surprised if Laugh and Play wasn't in front.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't put him up because I don't really like this horse. Stretching out in the turf off the claim, Mike Maker, 5 for 38, 13%, 89-cent ROI. At Naira, he's 0 for 11. 5 hit the board. The argument, I think, for Laugh and Play is that she comes out of a race that got a 60 buyer, and I'll give you some horses out of it. The second horse came back and improved her buyer 13 points. The fourth horse, 14 points. The fifth horse, 19 points. The sixth horse, 11 points. The eighth horse, 27 points. And the ninth horse, 11 points, all on the turf. So you look at those horses, and there's an argument that maybe Laugh and Play's figure should be closer to a 70, to the low to mid-70s, and that makes her fast enough to win the race. And I get that argument, and I don't have a big problem with it. I don't make her the speed. I don't love her in here. not impossible. Mike Maker's winning everything. I don't trust Fairy Cakes, but I'm going to give her a shot in the drop down in here. She ran against better horses, and I'm just kind of hoping that she'll do some running. She's not a total dump job running for 50,000. It's not like they're running her for 30 or a quarter, you know. They could have run that cheaper race the other day.
Yeah.
So they're running her at least at a level where they're not just getting rid of her. And I'm going to hope that she can find her better form and maybe win here. I don't
Hard
have
for
a
me
huge
to
opinion.
dissect any selection in this race.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't love the horses that are forward in here. Quarria Thunder beat a horrible field last time. I always like to see the Canermachis do well, but I'm not a biggest fan of hers. Race number 3. Race number 3. What are we doing in race 3?
Did you make a mistake here?
No, I actually handicapped the race. I don't know if you were drinking during it. I mean, isn't the horse to beat in here McCart? And we'll show the race 2 back. Is it McCart? I thought if this horse ran the race that she ran 2 back, or he ran 2 back, he'd be tough, and probably cutting back to 6 helps him. He's probably a little better shorter than trying to go the mile last time. I don't want to pick him on top because he's just had his chances, but you didn't think this horse was...
You're a braver man than me to anoint the horse to beat in here.
Well, isn't this... I mean, what... Is he the favorite, right? No, the favorite's your horse. Wow. Boy, I didn't even consider your horse.
I'll be out. I didn't want to pick anybody in here. I went to the hot barn. Dave's horses are all running. I tried to simplify
some
it as
logical
best
horses
as I
that have
could.
run
Yeah.
okay.
That was it. I mean, that's all I
So we're just going to pick all the Dave Donk horses. What? This horse is a morning line favorite.
pick. All the Dave Donk horses. I just listen.
What am I missing here?
Where are you supposed to go?
Well, I'm not going to this horse. Where am I going?
Obviously.
I'm going to the big drop down. I mean,
Okay.
this horse ran against real horses and has been gelded since then. Broke a half slow. I mean, didn't do a ton of running after that, but those were serious horses this horse ran against. I don't know. Don't you want a horse that ran once? You don't have her in the top 4? Him?
I don't like this horse.
I don't know. I mean, this horse is not doing any running last time against better horses. Ran the same, higher figure your horse ran last time.
Good luck to you. No, I get it. I get it.
I mean, you don't think that Jay Stalker is a usable horse? Did Jay tell you this horse can't run? You don't want to use a first-time starter for Bruce Levine that's worked okay?
Obviously not.
Does Jay not like this horse? Is there a story in this horse?
I don't ask anybody. I don't ask them. I don't ask people. If they come and talk to me, that's one thing. I stopped asking people a long time ago.
Well, he might have come and talked to you. I'm just surprised you wouldn't have a first-time starter in here. These horses are... This is a hungry bunch here, Ant.
It is. I know it is.
So why cop out? I mean, don't you want to look for slightly more interesting? I guess not. Okay. I think Leather Chad's very dangerous. I think the first are Jay Stalker. I thought McCarve, the horse that ran, you and I saw the race very differently. Captain Remington, off the Finger Lakes form.
I am not dying on this hill. I mean,
Well, I'm not dying on any hill.
I'll tell
I'm
you right
trying
now,
to
if the Finger
trying
Lakes
to come up
horse,
with interesting horses.
if the Finger Lakes horse runs one of his last 2 races, the Finger Lakes horse is going to win.
Right, but Finger Lakes form and the form here is usually...
I don't disagree. The barn's on the
also-
duck right now, but Javier's on this horse. And
But this horse was in a much more high percentage barn when he ran here 2 years ago, or a year ago, right?
but he's run better in his last 2 races up there.
Right, but we see a lot of horses that run in these kind of races, in New York bred races, that run 30 figures and go up to Finger Lakes and run 50s,
Yeah,
right?
for
so
sure.
I don't think we want to rely on him to run those kind of races. Okay, we saw this race very differently. I thought there was an interesting opportunity here with a new gelding on a horse that ran against much better horses. Race number 4. I think our video for race 4 is Tapazirance, who I just thought was way the horse to beat off the race 2 back, and last time out had no chance in that foolish ghost race. I thought he was the horse to beat.
I did too. Yeah, throw the last race out. I'm not worried about the last race. The race 2 starts back, puts him right in the winner's circle.
Well,
The race 4 and 5 back, put him in a winner's circle.
I'm not sure about that. I
No?
think there's other horses. I don't know.
I don't know. He's got a lot of races on his card that get his picture
They make
taken
him
today.
very much the horse to beat. I think there's other
Yeah.
horses that have interesting races. I mean, the horse I picked actually is the one who has the races that are better than these, but Breaking Stones.
Yeah.
You're going to get Rudy home.
Rudy's going to
With a
get
slow horse.
off the duck eventually, and I think Dylan Davis is going to put this horse on the lead today in a race that does not have a lot of speed, if any. And I think when Rudy
He's
claims,
not faster than Tapazirance. You don't think that Jose Ortiz is going to go with Tapazirance?
I think Breaking Stones clears today. And I think that could very well be enough.
Really?
I don't trust any of these horses.
This
I
horse
want
is
the horses
terrible,
to be-
right?
Yeah, I'm very well aware, but it's first time Rudy.
No,
And I know Rudy's
First time
not doing-
Rudy's over 40.
I know Rudy's not doing well right now.
First time Rudy's over 40.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. No, I don't have any push on this horse, but
Well, he's not the speed.
I like the upgrade. I think he's the speed.
He's not.
Okay.
Okay. Listen, maybe the 3 and 7 will get left. I suppose anything's possible. Okay. We disagree completely. I think that there's 2 horses you want to use here if you want to play against the 3. And I don't want to play against the 3, but I don't want to take a 3 at a short price. I think Gemography makes a ton of sense in here. Has no chance in a mile and a 16th last time. You almost wonder if A. DeLore did the racing office a favor and helped them make the Saginaw go. This horse, I understand A. DeLore doesn't win a lot of races, but he's also got a lot of horses that make no sense whatsoever in races. This horse has nothing but races that fit in here. Cutting back, I think this horse is perfectly logical. Gandy Dancing, what's wrong with Gandy Dancing on the outside? I mean, didn't finish that far behind Tapazirance, 2 back. Nice outside stalking position, has early speed. I mean, I know, it's the taller percentage, but other than Gustavo Rodriguez, who in this race is winning a lot of races? Nobody. Right?
No.
Nobody, literally. Jeremiah. But it's a little hard to make Magnetron here.
It is.
So I'm going to use 2, 3, 7 here and just sort of, Gemography's 4-1, 9-2. I'll bet him to win, but I'm going to try to hope that the 3 wins. I'll move through the race, and if not, I think the 2 or 7 are very interesting. We saw it differently. Race number 5. Number 5's a fun race at a mile and a half. I like this. I like that we've got a nice field for it. Problem is there really isn't a lot of form to go on. You didn't go back to Noble Enterprise,
I didn't.
but you ran second to Federalist Papers.
Wise guy.
You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming.
I did.
I always showed the replay just for you. This is a tricky race. Now, obviously, is it Reumi? And Reum?
I think it's Reum.
Okay. And Hail 2. Hail 2 with that big pedigree. I thought Hail 2 ran well. The one concern with Hail 2 I'm in no way against is that will she be as good without the lead, because she doesn't rate to get the lead here.
Right. Yeah, we'll find out. The blinkers went on last time, and obviously the function of her being in front was they went 118 to
Right. And she more importantly
on a highway.
But more importantly, she had the rail.
Right.
And so it made it a lot easier for her to have the lead. And when you look at this race, it's a little tough to make. Now, listen.
No, she's not. Listen, if she's in front here, there's a big.
Well, there's nobody with any speed, so anything's possible.
Well,
but it's hard to steer in front of, except, in front of, like,
Star will
the
be in
Ballymore
front
Star
here,
is
right?
supposed to be in front, except
Four,
Temptation
yeah.
is there. No, obviously I agree. I mean, listen, I won't be surprised if Trevor's in front of her with a more inside post position.
Correct. I would love to see.
That doesn't mean she can't win. Doesn't mean
I
at all
would
she
love
can't
to see Dylan Davis leave, running out of there, and maybe get a good spot with this horse, save some ground.
win. Well, the problem is she's not faster than the horse directly inside of her. So if Eric is not,
maybe she could follow
checking her
St.
out.
Martin Girl in.
Even Sequist has, got some speed. It's a funny race because there's so many unknowns here. Because
She's got to be like little brother today. She's going to have to come from off the pace today. She's big brother today.
Yeah, but I
Big Brother
think
today.
what you have going with the 10, who I have 4th and could add much higher, is you are confident that she'll handle the distance. Not only did she handle it last time, even though under ideal circumstances she has a pedigree that says it's
She's
just,
a half the Saddler's Joy.
right, well, as well as about 87 other horses that
Yeah.
run the turf, right?
Well,
Who's that horse that
Wolfie's Dynaghost and Dynair.
he does not want a mile and a half?
Lunaire. He does not want a mile and a half. No,
No,
but
we
he's
haven't
also
tried him there.
but he has speed.
We haven't tried. No, I'm
Yeah.
teasing. I like Wolfie's Dynaghost. He's actually done okay.
Saddler's Joy is probably one of my 5 favorite turf horses.
He's a cool horse. Yeah.
Love Saddler's Joy. Tommy did a great job.
Where
And
is
Tommy
he?
has this one.
Where is he?
He's retired.
Yeah, I know, but like
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
your place in Brooklyn.
I wish. Oh my God, I would like. Wouldn't be the first horse in
You
my
could
front
have,
yard.
like, a petting
Wouldn't be my
zoo.
first horse in the front yard. By the
that
way.
might be like a great future for you. Anthony Stabile's petting
No
zoo.
Needles Please was in my front yard.
I would love that. Who?
No Needles Please. 40 years ago. It's a long story, but I had a horse in my front
Yeah,
yard.
I think that Anthony
I would
Stabile's
love-
petting zoo would be awesome.
I'd have Saddler's Joy. I'd have Yagley.
What racetrack characters would you put in the petting zoo?
What racetrack characters?
People
Jerry Frazier would absolutely be there. Of the Jerry.
I might not be good in the petting zoo. I kind of bite. I might
You
snap.
don't like it? Jerry Frazier would be
in the
there.
petting zoo.
Carmine would be there. Carmine the waiter from Nove.
In the petting zoo?
No, you said on the property. They'd be roaming the property.
No, to be petted.
to be it can't be petted, Andy. I don't think that's legal.
We're not discussing legality here.
Oh, no.
Suddenly you're getting into legal issues up
But
here?
this is probably a conversation we
All
shouldn't
right.
have on air then.
I like 7 good measure.
Okay.
Sources a half to 4 turf winners. Tried the turf once. Ran well at 1.5 miles in the dirt last time. And I'm thinking, why can't this be a turf horse? The only horses that Smarty Jones ever sired that ran well really were turf horses. And Grand Motion trying the turf, and I felt like this horse could handle it. And I just thought this horse was a really interesting horse. What about Shad Nation? Is she just not very good?
Man,
She looked like she'd be so good after her debut, didn't she?
I
You would have thought this horse could be in stake races after that debut, right?
I kind of forgot that they were separate trainers. I was kind of hoping Shad Nation would trap to get Santa Julia in. I wanted to bet Santa Julia
Christophe
on the
Clement
stretch.
wanted to scratch to help Chad Brown get a win, but then he came to his senses.
I slept because you see entry, and I kind of I think I'm 30 races at this point. I kind of slept it. I don't know what to do with her. A Cairo Prince? We think a Cairo Prince wants 1.5 miles?
Can we stop for a second to laugh about the thought of Christophe Clement scratching to get Chad Brown into a race?
I told you I forgot it was an entry. What am I going to do? I mean,
well, somebody else could have scratched.
since her debut, I know she's run 3 faster figs marginally since her debut.
I think
she just never came back to the debut.
I think that Christophe is taking a shot with a horse that's
to at this point.
underachieved,
Yeah.
that's disappointed, and he's saying, hey, I don't know. But you have to remember something else about this race for her. I mean, in theory, this race is a prep for the Grand Prix de Belmont, de Jockey Club Oaks, or whatever it is.
It's just the Jockey Club Oaks, Andy.
I think we should add Grand Prix.
You
They
got
took it
rid of
away
the-
from us.
You got rid of the Grand Prix.
But I think
Amongst
there's a
other
1 and
things.
3/8 race for $700,000 back at Belmont. And if you have a 3-year-old filly and
You
you're
find
Christophe,
out.
you want to see if they can improve going 1.5 miles. And I think any 3-year-old in this race, which includes horses like Hail 2, St. Martin Girl.
Problem is they ran her
Sequist.
1 mile and 3/16 at Keeneland in April.
Yeah, but
a
there's a
place
big
that Christophe
difference.
Clement does not ship down to a lot. I was imagine the reason to go down there was to see if she wanted a little more
That's
distance.
but that's nothing like 1.5 miles, 1 mile and 3/16.
No, but she kind of, I don't know.
No, I think they're going to hope she gets better. I'm going to try the 7. I have no problem with Hail 2 and Riume. But listen, this is a race where if somebody wanted to make a case for me for just about anybody,
Absolutely.
especially if you feel that distance is going to make a
You
difference.
made a good
from
case
here.
for good measure. She ran well on the dirt last time. Maybe the one turf race was off a layoff. She only got beat a couple of lengths.
Has Graham Motion been here? I have not seen Graham. So I think he's avoiding me.
I've seen Jane, his
Jane,
daughter,
of course
and
we've
I've
seen
seen
Jane.
and Chappie, his son Marcus, is working over at Nova. He's a busboy at Nova.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. That's the first half. Think of how much excitement is still to come in the late pick 5 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We're discussing trainers that are close to milestones. Mike
Milestones.
Maker said 1 away. I thought it was 3 away. Is 1 away? He might have won 2 races already today.
The
Maybe
legend
it's
John
3 away.
Embrial told me it's 1.
So Maker's around 3,000. Amos around 4,000. If Tom Amos around 4,000, there's hope for all of you. Saw Tom last night.
I see Tom every morning. We're here not bright and early for breakfast at Saratoga.
He was out late last night, actually.
Well, Tom was
Painting
there
the
this
town
morning.
red.
We were having our
Wasn't out.
having our coffee together, and Ron Moquette joins us.
I saw Ron for
Nice.
the first time this meet yesterday. He's a lovely man. All
Ron's
right.
one of my
Race number
Ron's
6.
one of my favorite people here.
Race number 6. So I have a question for you about race number 6. This horse, Love Tank, who's going to be, I imagine, a big favorite in here, though. I want to bet, David, that this horse is a shorter price than Stellar Lady.
Okay.
You don't have this horse in the top 4.
I don't like this horse, and I don't think this horse will be a shorter price than the 8.
Oh,
I
well,
agree
we
with
haven't
David.
ordered 100, so you have a chance. Let's bet a lunch. I'll take the 2.
We pushed the other day with the other bet.
What was the bet the other day?
We made another bet on the day I won the 5, didn't we?
I don't think. If we did, I forgot it.
I think we may have pushed anyway.
Okay. I'll take, for one lunch, 2 shorter than,
Deal.
than 8.
Yeah. Deal.
Yeah. Why don't you like this horse at all? What was wrong with this horse's race? This horse
I don't
lost to a
know.
worse year. Tip on it ran well. What's wrong with this horse?
I don't know.
You don't
I feel
know
like
what?
there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here.
There is?
A lot of, yeah. I got a tip on. I got a decent enough push on the 4 on Aztec.
Well,
That's part of the reason I put.
The 4 is going to be shorter than 6-1.
Yeah.
The 4 will show the workout. I thought the horse ran okay at the 2-year-old sales. I mean, this horse has got tons of turf pedigree. This is. I don't have a tip on it. This is just to me a logical other horse you want to take in this race. I mean, there's really not a lot of pedigree in this race. The pedigree, actually, and the horse who's working well is the horse I have fourth, the 1 Run for Cover.
Yes.
I had picked him fourth. Nick told me that the horse is apparently working well this morning, but there's some pedigree on that horse as well, though. The horses, half horses that have tried the turf that have done no running. That's a P.G. Johnson family going
There's
back,
a restricted,
right? That's
yes.
a P.G. family,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is. This is a restricted race, by the way.
Yeah, that's the Sullivan.
Yep.
Yeah. I just can't believe you have Love Tank nowhere.
I don't like Love Tank.
Why?
I
You playing against Kirk Wyckoff because he embarrassed you on the mini golf course?
Some more
I think it's
thing.
a Kirk
Wyckoff thing. I picked cross border the other day. We're even.
Good pick. Crossboard looked like you after the 3rd hole in that race last
That's it now, right? I mean, I don't even know what you do with him after that.
I can't hear you.
Can't win here, going that distance. Done. Yeah, I don't like Love Tank today.
I thought Stellar Lady was the reason to bet this race, if she's a short price. First of all, she sucked up in a race that fell apart. So she's completely dressed up to begin with. She doesn't have any turf pedigree. She's after one horse won the turf. It was bad as a Shackleford. Well, why would you want this horse near a short price?
I was talking to the connections, and I had a tip on this horse first time I heard this horse come
Well,
run.
the trainer thinks that Classic Classway is going to the Arc, so.
They wanted to run this horse on the grass. The restricted dirt.
Okay, well,
race
she'll be
came
back
up
on the
first.
dirt in her next start.
Okay,
my
well,
prediction.
we'll see. We have a. Are we betting on?
I'll bet a horse for horse 2 versus 8.
Yeah, let's do that too.
Ooh,
So
we
we
got
have
lots of-
lunch
so we
and
got-
that. I like that.
We got 2 bets, 2 over 8.
And
Ooh, I
2
like
over
this.
8.
And we're at 100. It's very exciting.
Yep.
This race got more and more exciting. I agree with you on Aztec Knights. The pedigree's there. You say there's a story on this horse?
Little bit of a tip. Yeah.
The only stories I'm hoping for a bedtime story. That's the best I can get. What about the outside? You've got Tom Amos' horse who has no pedigree.
Horse took a ton of money first time out, 3 to 5 down at Churchill in one of these
And Tom's
similar
already giving up a running horse with no pedigree in the
restricted
turf.
races.
He's a hot barn.
Well, Dan was 0 for 2 on the grass. This horse is by Go Zapper. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to use. I could use any of the 1, 2, 4, and 6. I want nobody else here. I will stand. My strong opinion here is against the 8. Yours is against the 2.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how that works out. They'll probably finish 2-8 or 8-2. Aztec Knight. Sharp Aztec has been doing okay so far.
Fair to middling.
He's a Freud.
Fair to middling.
Race number 7. Steve says there's no other bet.
Okay.
No other bet that day. I didn't think so either. All right, what else do we have? We've got race number 7. I don't have a strong opinion in this race. I just don't trust anybody. But doesn't this race feel like there's supposed to be some pace in here?
Yes.
And that kind of makes your horse a little tough, right?
Well, yes and no. He was able to sit off the pace in March at Aqueduct and get the job done off of Montauk Daddy, who's come back and turned into a win machine again. So that gave me a little confidence.
What? And a trainer who's got 1 win in an off-the-turf race, and otherwise his horses can't get out of their own
he's
way?
been a little quiet. He's been a little
No,
quiet.
his horses haven't.
But I got to tell you right now, I don't.
You know, Eric just said no ties today. I really like the tie I'm wearing today. I really feel this tie brings the outfit together.
Like
it
the
makes
rug
it
in the
all
Big
happen.
Lebowski ties the room together? You think the outfit ties the rug together? Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I think that's a great.
I got a lot of compliments
that's
on
actually
my
a great
ties
analogy.
today. Thanks.
Yeah, I like that. It's sharp.
Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the tie plays today. But
Yeah,
I mean, you don't
I'm
wanna,
not taking this tie off. I don't care what Eric says.
Like
all
it.
right?
That's right.
Take that, Eric. And Amos will have a tie on because he's a man of fashion.
Yes, he is a man
So
of fashion.
I don't like
The
Ragtime
fashion
Blues.
plate.
I've got him third because the scratches.
Okay.
I get it. I don't see how he gets the lead. I don't see him getting a mile. And this is a trainer who was setting the world on fire back at Aqueduct. He could do no wrong, and now he can do no right.
Wonder how many races Jeffrey Engelhard has lost out of the Wilson shoot. He didn't even take that into consideration.
Off-the-turf race.
I know. Listen, I'm not making a huge case for this horse. I've kind of had enough of Dark Storm.
Well, I
guess
just thought direct order
can
would get
win.
pace to run at, and he's off the claim in a route for Gustavo
Yeah.
Rodriguez, who the member of that family whose horses are running well.
Yeah.
He's got great numbers over the last year off the claim in dirt routes. I just think he's super. Like, you've got him second. It's not like you disagree with me.
Yeah, no, of course.
We can show him. Did we?
I thought this
Let's
was
show him.
fours and
Did we already
fives.
show him or not?
I thought this was 4s and 5s. I had a tough time making a case for anybody else.
Really?
I guess if you like that, I mean,
Did we show the direct orders last race?
I
or-
don't believe so. I don't remember. But we were talking about your tie, so we could have. I don't know.
Hello. There we go.
There it is.
You know, if John Caccamise was a really nice guy, he'd fill up my water. But that's okay. He's busy. Over there.
I think he's reading The Godfather over there. Yeah.
Now,
so
I will say
Basilio.
the dark order in this, or direct order, excuse me, he was sucking up as this race was coming apart, and the race was collapsing at the end. But it feels to me like with horses like Auburn Hills in here, and Invest, who's got to go, and Ragtime Blues, it's tough for this pace to be pedestrian.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
mean, even I feel like there should be some pace in here. Wilson Shoot's kind of a big hit, isn't it?
I love it.
I mean, there were doubters out there. They doubted Glenn Kozak.
Imagine that.
And as
That's
Richie,
a very dangerous game
well,
to play.
also as Richie pointed out the other day, this is sort of something that Bruce Johnstone always wanted to do.
I heard that on Saratoga Live.
I
That's
think it's one of
great.
the reasons that we
Bruce was such
we
a
have
good man.
Bruce Johnstone, one of the greats in the game, that we were blessed by him working here, but working at NYRA, but also training horses.
My dad was a jocks agent. I'm pretty sure he could have walked you into the barn, and he would have wrote him on something.
Bruce was the greatest.
You were a little lighter back then. You could have done 22.
Yeah, when I quit smoking in 2010, I was a little lighter. I've been on the upswing ever since. My doctor said something to me, by the way, about how I should lose a couple pounds, and I said I could start smoking again. What do you
Take
think?
you to a cigar shop. Yeah, I mean,
All right. I'm going to take closers in here. That's my feeling. I'm going to take the 4
if
and
you
2.
think there's pace, that means
Yeah.
that those are the
I'm
two
gonna-
horses that make the
listen,
most sense.
You like a horse I don't like, but you have my horse second and third, so
Yep.
obviously you don't disagree with me. I even want to use a little O'Shaken, you see, maybe.
Okay.
I always liked that horse.
I know you
The
did.
Hall of Fame came up a terrific race.
It did. It looks like, for now, Stolen Base is running here and going to scratch tomorrow.
I'm assuming. I got a text from Kirk Wyckoff, who would like to have a little piece of the action we have in that race, both on the odds and on the bet.
What does he want?
But, Anthony, I think you've done enough losing to Kirk Wyckoff.
No, what does he want? I'd like to get some of my money back.
Text him.
All right. You gotta give me his number after the
I wish we had some video of
after the
Anthony
show.
when Kirk was
I'll just go
nailing
to the
those-
box and see him.
nailing those holes in one. So I want to talk about Tiz the Bomb to start, who is the actual 7-2 morning line favorite. I
Okay.
will say, and this is him winning the Jeff Ruby Stakes.
EAKS, folks.
This horse
EAKS.
got about. Did we spell it wrong?
No. I said. I was explaining to everybody.
This horse got the most ridiculous trip of the entire Belmont Derby. He was never basically inside the 4-path when they taken the rails down. Now I'm never been convinced on this horse, but if he's going to run, he's supposed to show up and run well today. I'm going to use him. He had no trip. You have him 4th.
I
Not
do.
a big fan.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I've never really been a fan. But hey, that doesn't mean he doesn't have license to participate today.
We'll show Stolen Base winning the American Turf. Stolen Base didn't get the best of trips to the Belmont Derby either. He was 2-3 wide the whole way. It wasn't as bad as the finish, but he just completely stopped him there. I don't know. The problem with him is his big figure is on that funky Churchill Downs course, and it's very hard to trust that course,
He's
right?
another one I don't really want any part of.
Stolen Base is running today, Kirk says.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't prefer him. And kind of the same reason. The big race comes on that course, and
Yeah,
know.
but
I'm
he
gonna tell
ran
you
well
what.
enough last year. You look through him, he did not get a good trip, particularly in that race in Houston. He's a pretty logical horse in here, and he's 8-1 morning line. You don't think he's a
With the Wajiak Chief coming out of here,
Chanso is the speed.
man, it's improved his chances, hasn't it? I did not
Yes,
love.
it's improved his chances. I don't like this horse at all. I just don't think he's good enough. But maybe I'm wrong. You know,
I think
maybe
Arad's going to run from the rip in here
Well,
now.
he's the
and-
speed.
Yeah. If I wasn't, I thought about flipping these around when the scratches came out. I really did. But the picks are in the Daily Gazette every day, and I don't want to really pull a Fugazi, so
It's a problem with doing something like that.
Yeah.
I got you. He's the speed, and the scratch the 2 moves him up. I don't like this horse. I just didn't think he was quite good enough to win here, but I'm not going to argue with that sentiment. I don't think that's you're not wrong.
And he's a rare horse. His figs have gotten faster since you left Gulfstream.
So you have Ray to perform on top
I
and
do.
double clutch third. We'll show you the stretch of the race. Didn't double clutch run the better race?
Well, Double Clutch kind of just sat and made the one run. I thought, like, Ready to Perform did a little bit more running a little
Maybe
earlier on.
a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought he did a little bit more running earlier on. I'll tell you what, I would imagine
Also ducked in there.
I would imagine Ready to Perform is going to be a little closer today, especially with the lack of pace now. I would imagine Joel's going to keep this horse in closer proximity.
I think
today.
there's definitely a chance that he's third to last. He
I don't know
probably
why
will
you
be
say
second
that,
to last
Andy.
here, but I think there's definitely a chance he's third to last.
He got bothered a touch at the start last time.
He's not faster than 1. He's not faster than Wit. He's not faster than Wow What a Summer. He's not faster than Stolen Base. He's not faster than Double Clutch.
But you're acting like these are confirmed front runners or horses.
Right, but
with
you're acting
an
like
abundance
there's
of-
some
No, I'm
reason they're gonna be aggressive.
I would just imagine that they're going to be a little bit more forward with them.
Okay.
I think there was an attempt last time when it was a little bit. I don't think this pace is going to be that fast now. I'd like to see her out be a little
I'm not arguing
aggressive.
it's going to be that fast.
Yeah.
And that does not help my horse. There's no question about it. But my horse runs his last race. This field could be in trouble here.
Horse comes out of an older horse race too, which I think is something that you need to consider in
We
here.
can look at Celestial City's last race. I really thought he ran very well in here. Because the other thing is that Javier wanted to get him to the outside.
Yeah.
And through no fault of his own, he couldn't get him outside.
couldn't get him out.
And this horse still was charging forward. And to me, he looks like a horse that's improving at the right time for Shug. I like this last race a lot. Now, he probably has to take another step forward to run his best race
yeah.
here. And there's no question the scratch of the 2 does not help his chances. But I'm just kind of hopeful that these turf races, the pace matters less than it's supposed to.
And he's kept taking steps forward throughout his career.
Mm-hmm. I love that last race. This guy was really running at the end of the race. And that was a solid field of older horses in there. I thought he was a really
I thought about
interesting
ditching
in here.
Tiz the Bomb for him, but Tiz the Bomb had such a rough trip last time.
Yeah,
kinda
I don't know
wanted
what to make of him, and he's not a great play at 7-2.
No.
I mean, I think this is a race where, whether you're right or wrong, I think you just probably don't
What
want
do
to
you do with Wit? I mean,
well,
that's the
we'll
question,
show him
right?
in the Bay Short. Now, I know supposedly he
We gotta
worked
watch
okay
this?
in the turf for
Can I turn
Todd.
around? Can I turn away?
This was your fault.
This was my fault.
This is your fault.
This is the end. This is me. I destroyed the red and white
Don't you
this
feel
day.
like
Wow.
Don't you feel like Todd's kind of giving up a little bit? I mean, it's not like he was that bad in the Woody Stevens.
And he ran behind a horse that saved the Haskell, around one turn.
Right. And maybe Todd's feeling is, listen, I can't win the Jerkins with this horse. I guess if he doesn't run well on the turf, I could try him in the Gallant Bob or something at Parks, do those things. I guess now's the time to take a shot in the turf and see how he does. Now, I understand that Irad and Jose are not going to be, beating each other's brains on the front end, but he's supposed to be sitting second. I mean, the wild card is Wow What a Summer. This horse could be forward in here.
He could.
This Connor could go with this, or he's supposed to go in
He
here.
could.
He's not winning this race by taking him back.
No, I agree. I agree.
I could never take a horse like Wit because he's going to be overbet based on dirt form. He doesn't have any turf pedigree.
And apparently right. Well, that's the other
And
thing.
Tactical Joke is a
apparently
turf
the
sire.
one turf work, that turf work 2 back is what convinced them to
Well,
try
Todd
it.
wouldn't run him in here if he showed
No.
he couldn't run a turf.
No.
He's not stupid. I mean,
But-
come on.
The other thing is he's not going to be a good gamble. He's going to be the second
That's
or
what
third
I'm saying.
choice.
He's a terrible
yeah,
gamble.
He's a terrible gamble.
Because, first of all, okay, I will say there's an argument that his best race. I mean, he ran very well 2 back off the layoff.
Fantastic effort, 2
He
back.
looked terrific. I was
Yep.
surprised he took a step back last time out because he could have been second in there. Obviously, but maybe Todd just looks at the timing and thinks, you know what, I'm not going to win the. He's got other sprinters that may be just doing better than him, so he thinks I'm not going to win the Alan Jerkins with this horse. I might as well see if he's a turf horse at this point because there's a whole lot of things he could do with him. He could run on the turf. He could run him shorter on the turf.
Right.
So we'll see. Interesting race though. I thought it came up a fun race.
I do too.
You look at the morning line. I mean, it's wide open in the morning line. So the Troy, presented by Horse Racing Ireland. I've been to the track in Ireland.
Have you?
Yeah. I went to the late October meet at Galway, not the summer race, because Sean got married in Ireland, in Galway.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He did? You didn't know that? Really?
I wasn't invited.
Well, you didn't know Sean back then. It was 24 years ago.
Oh, wow.
20? Yeah, it was 1998. Oh, my God. Scary. I didn't have hair then, though. Golden Pal. We'll show Golden Pal in the Shaker Town. And for those that aren't familiar with why Golden Pal ran poorly last time, in Europe, in those races at Ascot, if a horse doesn't want to go in the gate, they'll run the race without him. And Irad was looking at a horse who was acting up behind the gate. And it's on Irad for not knowing and doing that, but it's for dumb moves, it's a little more understandable than it should be, I guess. And he just wasn't ready for the start, and so he just lost all chance of the start, so you could throw that out. I understand. His last two races, are a lot better than these, and he's the horse to beat. But I do think there's a very, very interesting alternative to a horse that's going to be 1 or 2 to 5 in this race. And I'm going to try to beat him. I'll probably regret it, as I've regretted it in so many of his races, but I'm going to take a shot to beat him, while acknowledging he's obviously way the horse to beat.
I am not.
I can see that.
I'm going to make I'm going to make a cold exacta with a horse who was streaking before they stretched him back. Well, that got loud. Before they stretched him back out, and that's Yes and Yes, who did very little, if anything, wrong going the sprint distances for David Donk.
Right, but he's not running races that make him super competitive here.
Oh,
right?
I just didn't think it's second.
Okay. There's a very interesting horse in there. Listen, I got him third, and I hope he runs well for Donk and Phil Gleaves, et cetera. I've got him third. So, but there's a horse in here that I think is extremely interesting, and I think most people, if you watch the replays, are interested in Arzak. I'm not sure he can beat Golden Pal, but this horse, he breaks about 1.5 lengths to 2 lengths slow in this race, maybe a length slow, and he's sort of on a rush just to get into position in this race. And we watching the whole race? No, we should start. We'll pick it up around the 3/8 pole. This horse is on an aggressive run the whole way, and he essentially breaks this horse open with his middle move. So he breaks a little slowly. He rushes to chase the pace. We got to the race too late. I'm not sure what happened there. This horse made a premature 4-wide move in there and lost a bound to nowhere, who's not Golden Pal, but he's a pretty darn good sprinter for Wesley Ward. And he ran the best race. He broke the race open. The race fell apart in the late stage of the move he made after breaking slowly. And the thing I think is very interesting about him is he has dramatically improved as a 4-year-old.
He has.
Every one of his races is better because he ran synthetic last year. He's a different horse. He also had a bit of a trip in the Allied Forces when he finished 4th at Belmont. But he is a new horse as a 4-year-old. Is he going to beat Golden Pal if Golden Pal runs his A race? No, not likely. But he's the only horse in this race that has any chance to beat him, and I think is very, very, very much the second horse. Now, you want to play a cold exacta with Yes and Yes, go ahead, it may work out. But if anybody beats this horse, it's going to be Arzak. That's, to me, is almost a certainty.
Fair enough.
And I like him, and I'm going to take a small shot with him. Race number 10.
The finale.
So there's a pretty logical horse in here, and we'll take a look at Wicked Lady going back to Aqueduct, finishing third. And then when she came off a layoff, she ran against Wildebeestes. I mean, Let Her Inspire You, Truancy, Sweet Mystery have all come back and improved their fig. Well, actually, the winner didn't improve her fig. Second horse a little bit, but killers last time. I mean, this feels like Kenny McPeak.
I wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel here. No.
Way the horse to beat.
No. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had nothing else really to do. I mean, the rest of these.
Horse ran a race. This race is good enough to win here. And you think some routine improvement, not a turf horse, gets back there. Big B Christine did run well last time. Oh, we got Kenny McPeak. How about this? Maiden special weight to maiden claim is turf to dirt. Big numbers for Kenny.
Yeah.
A weird picture of Kenny. We need a better picture of Kenny. He's hiding behind that hat.
Yeah, nothing really else to add.
Yeah, it's a super logical. What price is this horse in the morning line?
5 to 2.
Good luck on that. Big Bean Christine, almost getting up to beat a horse you and I thought couldn't lose in crosstalk last time. Gave her a little scare at the end, but he's just had so many chances, you know, Anth?
Yeah, way too many chances, right? Yeah. Gets an extra furlong. One race at 7/8. Got beat a length and a quarter. I mean, she could be part of the exotics, I would think, and I guess she can win, but
I think she makes sense.
See too many chances, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why a horse like the 6 is so much stronger. The interesting horse here is a horse you don't have in the top 4 in Regal Rebel.
The other drop.
Why wouldn't you want this horse in the drop? Off a turf race? I mean, I know this horse done no running, but isn't this the interesting other horse?
I guess she's done very little running, and I understand if you want one dropper, you probably want the other one at twice the price.
The idea is supposed to be a bet against Skyward Princess here, right?
I guess.
Well, the horse
I
has
don't know.
no dirt pedigree, can't run on the turf, and Chad Brown is dropping this horse out and is going to be second choice simply because Chad Brown trains the horse. And maybe that's good enough, but this is the horse I think you're supposed to avoid in here.
Maybe.
I mean, just feels like this horse that takes money for all the wrong reasons, and I want to have a fuzzy in here. It's going to be Regal Rebel, so I'm going to use 6 and a little 3 as my backup.
Okay.
Today's card on a Friday on Whitney weekend. Head on over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time in the present to be a member of Naira Bets. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code TOGA200. We have a 10 times points at Del Mar and Emerald Downs through Naira Bets. What else do we have? Contest, Anthony. Why don't you tell us about the contest?
$300 buy-in. It closes in 4 hours and 35 minutes. Go to naira.com/contest. $300 buy-in cash and seat prizes. Next week is the 4-Star Dave Challenge. That's a $3,000 buy-in. There's $5,000 seated in the prize pool. It's all cash next week. You can also play that not only here, but online at Naira Bets. That's Saturday, August 13th, 4-Star Dave Day. Always a very popular day.
That was an emotional moment for
me.
me.
And again, both of those contests, naira.com/contest.
5, 8, and 9 for the triple play.
Yep.
And finally, Saratoga Live, 1 to 6:30 on FS2 today. Enjoy the action here. John and Brielle up next with a reprise of the Scratches and Changes. Have a great day.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.